I'm Adam Mays. I'm the owner of AR Mays Construction. I'm here to talk to you about Whispering Hope Ranch. Whispering Hope Ranch is a 40-acre ranch that's specifically designed and built for kids with special needs. It has riding facilities, riding paths, we call it the Circle of Hope fire pit for the kids to hang around. It has a village green for the kids to play sports on, whatever sports they're able to play. It has 10 bunkhouse cabins. It has one, we call it the bunkhouse barn, where we converted a horse barn and the horse stalls into bunk rooms so the kids have the opportunity to spend the night in a barn, which is a lot of fun for them. If you'd like to know more about Whispering Hope Ranch, please visit our website at whisperinghoperanch.org.
The making of Carol of the Bells is brought to you by AR Mays Construction, where vision gets built, and by Whispering Hope Ranch, bringing the wonder of nature and animals to children with special needs. Doing more, the making of Carol of the Bells.
October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month. In honor of the event, YurView's Doing More is highlighting efforts by Inclusion Films to capture the talents of disabled people. Carol of the Bells is a feature film that was created with 70% of the crew having disabilities. Let's watch the making of Carol of the Bells by Inclusion Films and presented by AR Mays Construction and Whispering Hope Ranch Foundation.
Pictures up. Camera rolling. Sound. Speeding. Marking.
Scene 2, take 1, marker.
Imagine a feature film where 70% of the crew had a developmental disability. Imagine how opinions would change. Imagine the doors that would open and the opportunities that would be created, including work. Carol of the Bells is that feature film.
We are back now, and the crew at Inclusion Films is up and running with its first feature film shoot.
Carol of the Bells, that's Inclusion Films' latest project.
It's a good story. It has a lot of heart to it.
It's about a young man who searches for his birth mother, then finds her and finds out she has a developmental disability.
It's a really beautiful, heartfelt story, you know, which is what the whole production is about.
Inclusion Films is a practical film workshop that trains adults with developmental and intellectual disabilities in filmmaking. Bakersfield was our first studio. Then we opened up in Livermore, then Sacramento, then San Diego, San Bernardino, San Jose now, and Stockton.
Pictures up. Quiet on set.
The workshop has taught me on how a set works.
We give our students the opportunity to work basically whatever position they want on a film set, from assistant directing, camera, wardrobe, editing, sound, camera. There's so many different ways they can go.
My training from Futures Explorer was that it helped me a lot gain control on what I need, how professionalism I need to bring to set, and how I'm supposed to stay on task.
It's been a real life changer for me. It's just because I was getting nowhere before I came to this program, but it's just learning all the stuff about films, even the parts I didn't know much. I know that stuff better now.
Camera rolling.
They've prepared them to know how to work on set, not just like with the equipment, but the set etiquette that needs to be done.
Scene 2, take 1, marker.
So the classes helped out with that, not just with the technical, but also with the professionalism that's needed on set.
It definitely helped me with teamwork and professionalism. Keep, my emotions in check, not go, too crazy, it definitely helped being at the workshop.
I had a meeting with my other partners, Futures Explored and Options for All. Why don't we do a feature film that would include all the programs? You send me a pro from each one, then send students along with them that are ready to work.
That brings us to something like Carol of the Bells, where we've taken everyone who's found their niche in that crazy film world. We were able to bring it full circle and make our feature film, and really allow them to demonstrate on a bigger set what they can do.
So I found this script. I was at the Bentonville Film Festival. I saw Gail Williamson, and Gail Williamson is an agent for folks with different abilities. And I said, do you have any kind of script that's simple to do, that's about someone with a disability? She sent me Carol of the Bells.
I'm lying in bed and I'm reading the script, and it was like, oh my God, tears started flowing out of my eyes, and I became a big baby. By halfway through the script, I was like crying my eyes out. As I'm reading it, I'm thinking of all the locations that we could find in Bakersfield to shoot this, and how we can shoot it, and just so many things started to come to mind, and who we can cast in it.
The day before I spent my 5th birthday in the ER.
Did she say anything or provide you with any additional information?
She said she was tracing family roots.
And I wanted our students to see what it was like to do a full-on production. We just got everybody on board on it, and we started to put it together.
Hope. Hope sees the invisible, feels the intangible, and achieves the impossible. Helen Keller. There are more than 280,000 children in Arizona with special health care needs, and just one camp facility designed and built from the ground up expressly for them. Whispering Hope Ranch. The heart of the Whispering Hope Ranch experience is the healing bond that grows between campers and the gentle animals who reside here. Like our campers, many of the animals live with challenges.
Words simply cannot express our gratitude for our time at camp. Kirsten's quality of life was significantly improved because of our time at camp. Thank you from the very bottom of my heart. Hannah, Kirsten's mom.
To learn more about Whispering Hope Ranch or to donate, please go to whisperinghoperanch.org.
Let's return to the making of Carol of the Bells from Inclusion Films, brought to you in part by Whispering Hope Ranch Foundation.
Quiet on the set. So today, we're going to see rehearsal of the Bell Choir.
Each letter corresponds to a note that our Bell Choir members will be playing. So we have a D. So when I point here for we, the D, who is the D? I am. G? G? Red A. G. F sharp. Nice job.
The weather conditions were challenging. We had rain, and it was actually very cold as well. When you do films, you just have to fight through it.
Some of the challenges were this intense weather that might have changed the whole feature film from filming this on one day outside, or probably had to change it towards inside.
It did held them back a little bit because we all wanted to be next to the heater. So it was a little hard to try and keep motivated at certain times because we just wanted to stay warm.
The crew that we worked with, I didn't hear one complaint. It was really impressive.
All right, guys, here we go. Pictures up.
Action.
What am I supposed to do with this?
It's your call, pal. She's living in an assisted living facility that her parents created for her. Scott, they gave you up for a reason.
We're done. I'm done.
All right.
I would say this was by far kind of like the most comfortable job I've done with doing boom operating.
One of my jobs as first AC was to switch out the lenses, make sure that they were clean before we use them. It was definitely a very demanding job because that means I'm very close to the DP. I'm there for whatever he needs me for.
On the first day, I was kind of excited, but I was nervous, but I was really excited because I got to work with a lot of participants that were kind of like me.
It was nervous at first because I didn't know much people except the people who came with me from the same program. But as I kept learning along the way, it felt more comfortable to be around.
I got to know a lot in the sound department, a lot in the grip department, especially the AD Chris. She was amazing. To get to know a lot of people, it was amazing because these people, they've done this before and they know how to get things done.
Okay, first of all, let me just say this. It is February, not December. I feel very strange doing a Christmas movie when it's not even Christmas time. Like, there was a few times on set where I had other people helping me and everything, but at one point someone was singing Christmas songs and I'm like, it's nowhere close to Christmas. Can you please just stop?
It was amazing. They were amazing. They were very professional, very focused, very into it, and tireless, amazingly tireless.
One of the hardest and most challenging working on this film was the long hours.
So normally at the workshop we give 5 or 6 hour days on our shoots, but here it's a regular feature film, so we did 12 plus hour days.
It's pretty much a tough job to do, especially when it comes to getting the patients.
It wasn't easy adjusting to it. We had to maintain a strict sleeping schedule, so we weren't getting the set all groggy and sleepy.
I feel like I was on a true feature film set, so working 12, 13, 14 hours was a bit different than I even thought it would be.
It was difficult because we worked with a lot of equipment that we're not familiar with at all. And when we went to Bakersfield on this full-length feature film, we had a 5-ton grip truck. So they knew what the stand was and the bag, but everything else was new to them.
You're gonna have to specify. Okay. Describe it.
I don't know. Did already,
Patrick.
One thing that did bother me was trying to remember the names. Or know the differences between, say, a baby stand and a C stand or something.
When you make a mistake, don't be hard on yourself. Learn from the mistakes.
Any job you take on a film set, regardless of what it is, there's always a big challenge with that. It's just kind of a specialized world being on a film set. And with our folks, for them to not be able to make mistakes and for them to try something and maybe not do well the first time, that could be a real problem. That could really affect someone's confidence.
It was a little bit complicated at first because I was not in that professional part. I was not ranked in that professional field yet.
I don't really know, when we were filming on Mitte right now, I was not in the right state of mind. If it wasn't for my depression being so high, I probably would have enjoyed it a little more than I could have.
Be prepared for anything, because working on set, be honest, it wasn't easy, because you're learning new things, because it's the first time you've been on set, and all I can say is and also don't take anything personal if other crew members are being mean, whatever, because it happens on a lot of film sets.
There were different difficulties that came up every day. I think the long hours were very different, the different expectations that were on set. I think there was a lot asked of them and an expansion of their responsibilities than they're used to at the workshop.
Beginning of the film, we had a lot of our students that, didn't really know what certain pieces of equipment were, and by the end of the shoot, they were they knew every piece of equipment from the back of their hand. And So to see everybody kind of gel together, especially our students from the various other locations, from our other workshops, kind of gel and become friends and work together and hang out at night together and socialize. That is, to me, really cool, because you become a family when you make a movie, and that's to watch them become that family at their young age, knowing that this is the profession that they are choosing to go into, and knowing what great things can come out of this, friendships that can last a lifetime. So that is really probably the most exhilarating part for me, to see that happen. So to see those friendships gel.
Those who so generously provide their time, talent, and treasure, our partners in hope, make it happen. There are more than 280,000 children in Arizona with special healthcare needs, and just one camp facility designed and built from the ground up expressly for them, Whispering Hope Ranch. For parents of a child with special needs, an amusement park, a camp seems like an impossible dream. Whispering Hope Ranch makes that dream a reality.
It was a weekend where no limitations could get in Lily's way. She was able to just be a kid and have fun. Everyone was nothing short of amazing and kind and made us feel so special. I will never forget the look of pure happiness on Lily's face when she got to ride a horse. Thank you for giving us so much hope. The Scott family.
To learn more about Whispering Hope Ranch or to donate, please go to whisperinghoperanch.org.
Let's get back to Inclusion Films, The Making of Carol of the Bells, directed by Joey Travolta and presented by A.R. Mays Construction.
Hi, can I help you?
You must be Scott.
Working with the cast was really great. Yuli and RJ were the two main cast, and they were super professional every day. They were really kind to everyone in the cast.
The cast was amazing. I get to meet RJ. He was awesome. He was a great guy on set. He was funny. He was cool to talk to and hang out with.
To be honest with you, the first time I met RJ Mitte, I was kind of like starstruck, but after that, I was fine.
The actors were absolutely A+, with literally zero drama, which was super, super nice. And, working with, some, A-list talent, Donna Pescow, I hardly got to, really, talk to her, interact with her.
Rule etiquette says that you should not interact with the actors too much. I would basically say, hi, how you doing, and the like, and when asked, because I didn't want to get in trouble violating the protocol and the like. I was an extra in one of the scenes, which I was wearing a plaid long-sleeve shirt. With that in mind, it kind of evokes the feel of Pleasantville in a sense.
He's 5 and she looks like she's about the same age?
Yes.
And then, of course, the rest of the cast, Donna Mills, from Knots Landing years ago. She was a big star back in the 70s and 80s. Lee Purcell, same thing, just knocked it out of the ballpark. Just great work.
Granny and Papa are here, and look at all the gifts.
Wow! I think the cutest moment, or maybe one of the most memorable, was the young actor Elijah, who played RJ and Yuli's son in the film. Every single day would walk around and hug every cast and crew member and say, "Goodbye, see you tomorrow. Goodbye, see you tomorrow." And he was so short, you wouldn't really see him on set. You would just hear his little voice traveling around the locations.
You're my heart.
He's so sweet. He was so precious. He was so adorable. Oh my God. That always helped light up my day. I think that lit up anyone's day on set. He was just so cute.
Sure, I said no candy.
No, you said don't ask for any candy. And it just gave it to me.
Well, that's just a technicality.
At the very least, the most entertaining thing that happened on set was final day of filming. Asia actually broke out and started freestyle rapping.
It's evident you want the show to run me back down. You take the leading role. I'll play the background, because you know I miss my cues, know I forget my lines, and sticking to your scripts, and I'm reading all your signs. And don't need my name in lights. I need a star and good to every dancer for a pop star.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What'd you just say?
But the important one was finding Carol. That was the most difficult. And a young lady, Andrea Friedman, who was on the series As Life Goes On, she played Corky's girlfriend in that series, and she's done a lot of other things, and she keynote speaks and does all different kinds of things, but she was the perfect age for it. That's why I love Christmas and the bells.
The bell.
Say it one more time and say, that's why I love Christmas and the bells. You know, as you get older with Down syndrome, your memory goes a little bit. And so you had to be patient and take the time to get that performance out of her. And the actors around her, especially Yuli, you know, who had a lot of scenes with her, she was just so patient. And she got what we needed to get out of Carol.
I like to perform too.
Perform?
The bell choir.
It's him at different ages. So it's him at different ages.
Different ages. It's him? Different ages? Different ages.
They had to feed her the lines, which was really challenging to edit because you deliver a line and then there's a pause and then you're kind of forced to add a cutaway.
I tried to remember what he looked like. You can do it.
At first, it's hard to see how is this going to come out. Is this really going to work? You know, is this going to really work in the movie? And I think a lot of the crew, maybe actors, thought the same way. Me and the editors put this together, and it was just amazing. There's a certain scene where Carol's writing a letter to her son. At the very last shot, we stay on Andrea. And the reason why we're staying on her is because her performance is so real. She looks up for hope, and then she looks down, maybe he's not going to respond. And so she has all these emotions. And seeing the final scene after we just did it, oh shoot, we really have something here.
Like when I first met Andrea, I thought it was so cool because with me having Down syndrome, I love meeting other people who are into acting and also have the same disability. So it's like I remember when I first told her I have Down syndrome too, I was really happy to see you. She lit up, and it's great to seeing someone else light up just because you say, hey, I have this too. And getting to act with her was great. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah. All right, why don't you go catch up with the rest, all right?
Okay, thank you.
All right, yeah. See you later.
Yeah, I didn't finish him before.
As a filmmaker, I learned that anything can happen on set. You could be as prepared as you want, and then one little thing can change, and your entire production plan changes all in a matter of minutes.
We had a house all set up for the Christmas, the main house in the story, and the woman who was going to let us use her house for free, you know, she was just suddenly, I guess, I don't know why, suddenly we weren't allowed to.
I had to find another place that night, and I'm standing in the office going, oh man, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, we could maybe do one day there, or we would have to flip the whole schedule around. And when you're dealing with kids, to flip things around, it becomes more complicated. So this gentleman, Gary, he always helps us out, and he has great vintage cars, and this one truck for RJ in the movie. Gary comes up to me and says, man, he goes, I love working on this film. This is I love what you're doing with the kids, and love what you're doing with the home, just the spirit of everything I love. If there's anything else I can do. I said, you got a house? And he said, well, he goes, I have a house, but it's about 10 miles away from here.
And we said, well, where is it? And he told us, and we drove over there and used his house for 4 days, 5 days. Just completely disrupted his whole house, moved up all the stuff upstairs, downstairs, and all the stuff downstairs, upstairs.
Yeah, that's a very big thing, is that people coming in, grabbing C-stances, sandbags, and apple boxes.
You know, we would have been in trouble, you know, if we hadn't had that house.
I would say the most rewarding part of this is getting participants into the workplace, getting them onto professional sets, and getting them professional work experience.
You know, it's a wonderful untapped resource for them, and they don't take it for granted. They really appreciate what they're doing.
Basically, they think outside the box. Their ideas are remarkable, and it's very interesting to see how they work. They could be a great asset to a studio.
It is difficult to get people to understand what we do and what it means to have somebody on their set with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And I think that is a barrier that we face every day in our line of work.
I'm willing to work on any department, really. I get to work on a feature film. That's part of my dream job, really. Wherever they give me, I'm willing to step up and take it.
I have no preference on which department I'd like to go on the next film, but I'd like to try any of it because I wanted to expand my experience so I can become a filmmaker eventually.
I grew as a filmmaker doing this experience. It's just by learning as much as I can about it and just hoping that more opportunities like that will come in the near future.
One of the reasons that I'm doing this is to show that when given an opportunity, we can make something of quality. We showed this at Bentonville Film Festival, and it was the featured film there. And it was the best attended event there, and the response from the audience was just overwhelming. And this is like the little engine that could.
The evidence is completely there because you can see how good of a job they did. They will do anything they can to be professional, whatever it takes. They'll be there earlier than anyone else. They'll stay way later than anyone else. They will do everything they can to make sure they're helping you set up, make sure they're there to help you. Even if you don't need help, they're always there asking you if you need help. I can't say the same about other sets I've worked on with neurotypical crews. I just can't.
I mean, you got to remember, 70% of our cast and crew have a special need. And that says a lot. That was historic. That's never been done before in film. That many people working on a film, both cast and crew, that had a special need. And I think we made history by doing that. We're going to do it again.
A lot of these people were amazing. They all come from different places, but we all still have the same goal, and that's to prove everybody wrong in who we are and what we do. And a lot of people in this world don't understand how we can cohere with all this, but we get it done, and that's just at the end of the day, and we do our jobs.
You've been watching the making of Carol of the Bells from Inclusion Films, a passion project by Joey Travolta. For more on Inclusion Films, please visit their website. From all of us here at YurView's Doing More, A.R. Mace Construction, and Whispering Hope Ranch, we thank you for watching.
Well, I have a son with a disability. He was born with cerebral palsy, and I've always had it in my heart from raising him to get involved where I could help kids with special needs. I'm Adam Mays, the owner of A.R. Mays Construction. For kids with disabilities, oftentimes their parents are intimidated to take them to amusement parks, fun events, activities that have a lot of people, or activities that require physical movement. And at this camp, it offers the opportunity for the kids, the parents, everybody to be really comfortable because they're around kids with similar needs. It's an outdoor setting, right? So it's camp. How many opportunities do you have to send your kids into the woods, into a camp for a week?